Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2018 South Korean historical epic action movie called The Great Battle, which follows the story of the Ansi Fortress siege by the Tang dynasty in 645 AD. The movie begins with Emperor Taizong, the Emperor of China, invading the Goguryeo kingdom in Korea. He is called the God of War due to his ambitious determination to conquer the whole land. General Yun of Goguryeo dispatches 150,000 men to face Taizong's army at Mount Jupil. While Emperor Taizong watches the battle from afar and is confident of his army's strength, Yun's men are determined to hold their ground despite being far outnumbered. Turns out another hidden Chinese army attacks Yun's men from behind the lines, forcing them to retreat. One of the men, Samul, grieves over the death of his brother and decides to carry his dead body on his back until General Yun tells him to leave his brother. Out of the 150,000 men, only less than 10,000 survived. Meanwhile, Emperor Taizong and his generals discuss plans for their next move. A captured Korean woman, a holy medium who can foresee the future, forbids the Chinese people to touch Goguryeo ancient bow which belonged to Holy King Chimong, believing it to be a sacred relic. The men continue to discuss their next plan, explaining to the emperor that they have to conquer the Ansi Fortress next before taking over the capital of Goguryeo. They think they can take the fortress without bloodshed because of the feud between Ansi commander, Man-chun Yang, and General Yun. Moreover, the holy medium was engaged with Yang, putting the Chinese at an advantage. On the other hand, General Yun already suspects Emperor Taizong is going to strike Ansi Fortress next. He tells Samul that Commander Yang did not send reinforcements to help his army at the previous battles, hence he calls him a traitor. Therefore, he wants Samul to kill Commander Yang, as he believes Samul can carry out the mission due to his loyalty even though he came from Ansi. General Yun tells Samul to rejoin the army in the capital after completing his mission. On his way to Ansi, Samul meets two Korean soldiers who go along with him. They help a group of commoners whose carriage is stuck in the muddy path, then ask one of them to bring them to meet Commander Yang of Ansi. To their surprise, the person they are helping is Commander Yang himself, who stays composed despite being suspicious of them. Yang's men check the soldiers' horses and deduce that they are Taizong's spies, then kill them swiftly. Samul, however, manages to explain that he came from Ansi, the last of the Yulbul clan. He claims to flee from the Chinese army and decides to stand with the Ansi people. Yang decides not to kill him, but ties him up and will interrogate him later inside the fortress. They then move to Ansi, a lively town hidden behind the fortress. A brawl occurs in the market between Huolbo and Peng, two of Yang's trusted men. Yang resolves the fight by telling the men to mind their own business. Huolbo, who is proficient with axes, must continue his work to repair the fortress wall with his men. Back at his house, Yang tells Samul that he knows Yun labeled him a traitor and questions Samul's motives to serve him in Ansi. He then introduces Samul to his second-in-command, Chu, as well as Huolbo and Peng. He then assigns Samul to be his flag bearer, being close to him at all times to notify his position during the battle. Later that night, Samul stalks him visiting the house of a newborn baby who is named after himself. Samul realizes how loved Commander Yang is by the Ansi people. The next day, Samul asks Chu what kind of leader General Yang is, to which he replies that the people like to think of the general as the Ansi fortress itself. Ansi will not be the same without him, he says. General Yang looks for Paso, the leader of the cavalry, who turns out to be hanging out with his sister, Baek Ha. Yang wants to kill Paso for dating Baek Ha, but she stands up for him. They are interrupted by the news of arriving Chinese scouts. They deduce that Taizong and his army are not far behind and will shortly attack the fortress. In preparing for the battle, General Yang asks Samul to see his dagger and trim his beard. Samul knows it is the perfect moment to kill Yang, but he could not bring himself to do it. Seeing his shaking hands, Yang knows Samul was sent by Yun to kill him, but he tells him that there will be another opportunity to kill him if Samul wishes to do it. They then head to battle. The main army arrives, an impressive size against 5,000 Ansi men. General Yang gives words of encouragement to his army, telling them to fight for Ansi and cherish their life here. To breach the fortress wall, the Chinese army throws rocks using trebuchets. However, they fail to breach the wall due to the strong structural integrity of the fortress. The Ansi archers are skillful, they are able to hold the Chinese army from approaching the fortress. Although the main wooden gate is breached, the Ansi army has prepared a circling wooden fence to trap Chinese soldiers breaching the gate. They then form a close order formation to push the soldiers from the fortress. Emperor Taizong orders retreat. Back at his home, Commander Yang shows Samul his scars from battling the Tang army and Yun's spies, telling Samul it is no use to kill him because then Yun will just send another spy. The Ansi people are gathering outside, having a feast to celebrate today's victory. Samul points his dagger at Yang, asking why he did not obey General Yun. He tells him his duty is to protect the fortress, not obey General Yun. He did not send his men to help reinforce General Yun's army because that would leave the fortress defenseless. Later that evening, Taizong's army is back to assault the fortress, now with siege towers and fire bows. Yang instructs his men to ready the oil pouches and burns the siege towers by hitting them himself. He is hit by a spear and is almost killed, but Samul defends him. After 4 days, he wakes up, relieving the whole town. Chu and the others, who have doubted Samul's loyalty, now respect him as he saved Yang. Although the town rejoices from surviving another assault, Emperor Taizong made the holy medium foresee Ansi's future. Based on that prophecy, the Chinese army builds a mound of dirt higher than the fortress so they can attack it from the same level. The holy medium is then sent to Ansi to deliver the ancient bow and bring the message to surrender. Receiving the message, Samul suggests asking for reinforcements from the capital, but the men doubt reinforcements will come. Paso suggests they strike Emperor Taizong directly while the mound is still constructed, as the army is not too concerned about security. Although Baekha strongly disagrees with the notion, no one can deny that it is the only way they can try. Paso and his men ride to Emperor Taizong's encampment, but the ambush is detected so they are trapped. Paso manages to come back to the commander before his last breath. They learn that the holy medium has alerted Emperor Taizong about the ambush. She explains that there will be no way for Ansi to win except by surrendering to Emperor Taizong, as she has seen the doomed future. Samul slits her throat, refusing to believe that Ansi will fall. Consumed by grief, Baekha aims to kill Emperor Taizong by herself but is also defeated. Her body is returned to the fortress, so General Yang can properly bury Baekha and Paso together. He decides to float their bodies down the river. Samul decides to go to General Yun. He begs for General Yun to help Ansi people because although Yang can be seen as a traitor, he and Ansi people are still Goguryeo people and they fight valiantly for the country. Meanwhile, Yang gets an idea to topple the mound constructed by the Chinese army after seeing little children playing with dirt and rock. He discusses his idea with local miners, led by Wu Dai, who agree that the local soil consists of loose pebbles that can be easily topped if they dig a cave system beneath the mound. However, as the steep side of the mound is pointing toward the fortress, they must time the toppling perfectly to prevent the Chinese soldiers from advancing towards the fortress by the time they topple it. After a few days, the cave work is almost done. They plan to burn the columns of the mound structure in the morning. However, rainfall during the night caused the cave to be filled with water and made the columns too wet to be burned. Wu Dai agrees to chop down the columns using axes, sacrificing him and his men to be buried beneath the mound. They chop the columns and the mound fails just as the Chinese soldiers are advancing toward the fortress. Yang and his men take over the mound quickly and drive off the remaining Chinese army still on the mound, enraging Emperor Taizong. He will not stop the assault until Yang is dead, so the battle goes on for days, day and night until Yang and his men run out of arrows and other ammunition. He asks one of his men to retrieve the Chumong ancient bow and intends to aim it at Emperor Taizong while praying that the gods of Goguryeo help him. The Taizong army is advancing on them, but Yang's men are determined to guard their commander and hold their ground no matter what. The arrow leaves Yang's hands and accurately hits one of Emperor Taizong's eyes, badly injuring him. The long-awaited reinforcements of General Yun and his army arrive, trapping the Chinese army on both sides. They flee and admit defeat while Commander Yang rejoices with the Ansi people. He notices Samul from General Yun's army approaching him above the fortress and embraces him. 3 years after returning home, Emperor Taizong succumbs to his wounds and dies. Meanwhile, the Ansi Fortress is being rebuilt and peace is restored in Goguryeo. Samul prepares to head back to the capital city to finish his military academy, bidding farewell to Commander Yang who tells him to return to Ansi anytime he wishes. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.